Hi FlossTube Stitchers. As you can see by my backdrop, I'm well aware of the fact that it's February, but I'm gonna start off tonight with a few Christmas items. I'm still slowly bringing back my Christmas and winter decor and changing out shop displays. And I didn't want to forget about this little ornament that I, according to my notes, have never shown you on FlossTube, although it may have been in a few Christmas slideshows. But this is a Prairie Schooler design called Alphabet Tree. I wanted to show you the greenery at the bottom. And it was stitched either as a gift for me for Christmas one year by a customer, or it was stitched as a shop model because this was a promotional card that came out. I can't remember which. I just know that I didn't stitch it and I didn't finish it. But they came like these with our automatic. So it was a promotional card, and this says, for additional designs, see Book 82 Christmas Trees and Book 88 Christmas Trees 2. Now Hoffman has combined the remaining cards, or maybe they've reprinted some of them because the tree did not have a date on it, but some of the other ones in the pack do have the date. So I think those might be the original cards. But they came with an automatic to, to thank us for being on it. And then it was, they sent a multitude of them so we could pass them out to customers. They weren't to be Xerox, they were to be passed out as the original card. And this is one of the books, although this says 87 and the card said it was 88 Christmas Trees too, but so this was what it was advertising. I need to do that Snowman. I don't have the other book, Christmas Trees 1. I'm not sure it has been reprinted again. I forgot to look, but anyway, that was the idea behind the promotional cards. I do have one set of mini cards C. There's, I think, 10 cards in there for $9. And if you go to the distributor, hoffmandis.com, go to Prairie Schooler and, go through a number of pages until you find the M's and look for the mini cards. Not all of them are still available if you have been discontinued as they run out of things. But the last time I checked, this was still available. Then our friend Phyllis Wakefield had a framing appointment recently, and she brought us a few of her Christmas pieces. And I thought I had shown this to you before, but I know I showed a different picture a Christmas or two ago, because she had shared a photo of all three from the same book, and she had given two to her sisters and kept one for herself. So the book I'm talking about is The Tree Lot from Hands On Design. They look so cute as little planters, but she decided to frame hers. And this is the one she kept for herself. She stitched them on 32 count gunmetal from Weeks Dye Works and used all the suggested floss that Kathy had used in her original models. It looks big there, but it's a good size for a shelf or a small display. She just had a sawtooth on the back in case she wanted to hang it in a small space. Look at the cute little ribbon at the bottom. So that is her tree lot. And we do have those charts in stock. And the second one she brought in is new. It was new for her this past Christmas, so we had not had it in the shop before. This is by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread, and it's called The Light of Winter. I'm gonna put it up closer so you can see. It's so pretty. She used 36 R&R reproductions in the color Winter Brew and used Brenda's suggested colors. And while I don't have these immediately, I did receive a shipping notice, so I know they're coming soon. It should be here, by Tuesday, I would think. We're not here on Monday. So it may come Monday, but we won't get it till Tuesday. So that is our Christmas. Then we haven't been getting that much new because, as you know, Nashville Needlework Market is coming up, and I think a lot of people may wait until market to put out new stuff. They're still busily stitching and finishing things, but we did get my curated list of colors for January of Belle Soie from Classic Colorworks, and I chose the colors based on ones that we had in stock and also by looking at their website. So my Babbling Brook looks a little bit differently. So when I got these, I was maybe momentarily disappointed that the two blues were so similar, but this is more of a solid and this is more of a variegated, and they do look nice together. So I'm just hoping that people will appreciate my effort behind it, since I didn't see them together until they came. But I'm doing it myself and still doing the 10% and free shipping for anyone who wanted to join me this year, because Diane decided not to do it again. But they had plenty of colors, so I was able to find cute themes for the year. So this was my kind of like dreary January skies. All right, so that's what was new this week. And then last week's winner of the 2 heart and hand charts is Dee Rataco from Arizona. And she said she didn't have either one of these yet, so yay! I'll be getting these out in the mail to her. And then the last piece of business I wanted to talk about is our Nashville Cash gift certificates. I print these myself. It's a quantity of $25 each. And you do have a few months to use it. I like it to be over by June 30th because there's another trade show later in the summer, and I don't like these things left over when I'm starting a new campaign. But you buy these gift certificates for yourself, and we don't make you prepay for anything that you want at market, because we know that there's a big rush at the end of marketing emails and social media posts and YouTube videos. And sometimes you think you want something that came out this week, and then in 2 weeks you'll see something maybe for the same holiday or whatever that you like better. So I don't like to push people to prepay. And I also don't want to be forced to run around and pick up one chart here and one chart there. I'd rather do a bulk of shopping within each room and have a purpose to my shopping. So I'm just one person. I don't have time to wait in line. And I don't like to buy just one thing from a designer. It almost seems rude, although they always say they're happy for any purchase that's made, but I'd rather place a bigger order with people that I actually carry in my store, if that makes any sense. So these are available for sale. I've already sold quite a few, but it's okay. I print them at home on my computer. I have plenty of green paper left. So that is the last piece of business. Now, I know that you're here for the freebies. So tonight I'm going to show you freebies number 2 through 8. And if you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you've already seen these. I hope that I can give you a little bit more information about each one, or show it to you more close up, or maybe there's a little story behind it. So I apologize if you've already seen them, but I have to show them in my video as well for people that aren't on Facebook or Instagram. So day 2, let's see, I'll show you the designer's picture. So this was, I know you're gonna see some glare. Okay, this is from the Snowflower Diaries. It was a free chart that I don't know, I'm not smart enough to find a way to print them. I just work from my devices. This was a Facebook post on October 12th last year, 2025. So you'll have to go to her It's actually easier to go to photos and scroll through than it is to scroll through the whole post. You can find it faster if you click on photos and then just, you know, look. And the freebies are usually on everybody's Facebook and Instagram. The freebies look a little different because they're just the computer generated chart. So you can kind of look for that and skip over all the stitching, if you know what I mean. So I am doing mine on 36 count covered bridge from Legacy Fiber Arts. I still have it in the hoop. The fabric, I felt like the fabric needed me to stretch it. There's a lot of wrinkles in this fabric, which I love because I think it looks old and grungy and I love it. But it's also, it can be a little distracting when you're stitching, and I wanted my all my X's to look good. So I put it in the hoop, and it called for 2 DMC colors, but I chose 2 overdyes from Weeks Dye Works that closely resembled the original colors. I'm using Curry and Chestnut, and I guess there's a white in there too, but it's only the 3 colors. So there's, well, it's called Watchful Owls, but this is the pumpkin that they're flying over. So the owls aren't on here yet. Okay, that's that. Then the next day, this is the original. I'm just going to show you the chart because there was no color picture. So it's called Happy Turkey Day. And I didn't think about it until today how I was going to show you the pictures because I'm using my iPad to film on, so I had to quick put these in a different folder. This is what I have done so far. That was, you know, that was pretty quick. I like doing lettering. And I'm changing the colors around a little bit. It used a brighter yellow as part of it. And I guess I didn't think it would look great on this fabric. This is, yeah, this is the one that's 25 Vintage Country Mocha. I'm using 2 strands, and I think it called for, I think the original design called for raw, but since it's not stitched, you can't really see what it looks like. So I'm only going to keep the yellow in the turkey part. Wasn't going to do any of the lettering in it. But this should go pretty quickly. Then on day 4, it was hashtag flags on the 4th. And so I decided to show something from another viewer. And this is called Sweet Land of Sweet Liberty. It's from Samplers and Santas, which is a blog. And you know what? Right now, I forgot to look at what day it was. I'm planning on putting all of the links in the show notes for this video, so I'll have to go back and look at my original post and find out when that was. Although I think if you Google it, Samplers and Santa Sweet Liberty, it probably will take you right to her website. You shouldn't have too many issues with that. She had stitched hers, I'm not sure what count, but it's Heroic from Picture This Plus. And somebody had commented that it was their favorite fabric to stitch Patriotic on. And just a little bit ago, I got an order of Picture This Plus, and I received Heroic in 32 count Belfast. So you can see that it has a little bit of a rosy color and a little bit of like a dusty denim-y blue color running through it. And I also got it in 16 Ada and 28 Lugana. Now, I know that I probably should have ordered it in every single count, and maybe I should have gotten more than a half a yard of each, but with a different fabric like this that has multiple colors running through it, I'm always a little worried that it's going to be too much and I'm going to be disappointed. Yeah, it might have happened to me once, and that's why I feel that way. So now that I saw how nice this came out, my next order is going to include some different counts. And I know that not all of you have started your big patriotic project yet, because there's still more coming out at Nashville Market. I know a few came out last year so that you'd have plenty of time to stitch it. So there's plenty more to choose from coming out. So I'm going to order Heroic again in some, especially the higher counts of linen, for anyone that's doing a big project that wants to make it manageable for custom framing. All right, so that was Sweet Liberty, and the picture was shared with us by Julie Tippy. All right, then the next day, let's see, I'll just make that bigger. This was the picture I showed. Okay, this is Kiralyn's Needlearts, and she's somebody that I discovered not too long ago. I do carry some of her charts, and we're working on figuring out what month I want to have her trunk show. You can also order directly from her, but I liked her things enough and wanted to stitch some of them, so I decided to reach out and see if she sold wholesale. So anyway, this is called Blessings Mini, and the free chart is included in her newsletter. So I originally was going to do Love Bug for Valentine's Day, but I reached out to her to find out how long that chart would be available, because I was kind of blown away by a few changes I had to make in this year's lineup, because I found out that the original link had expired and now you had to buy the chart. Well, that's the same thing that she's doing. The free chart, kind of like Primrose Cottage, it's available during the month that it's released, and then the next month it goes in their inventory for sale. So I thought, oh, well, then I can't do the Valentine because that's going to expire by the time February comes around. So in February, the chart was the St. Patrick's Day. And as long as you sign up for her newsletter, it's at the bottom of her homepage. As long as you sign up before the last Tuesday of the month, you will get it in that week's newsletter. So she sends one every Tuesday. It's not just once a month. There was a lot of confusion. People thought they were going to get it right away when they subscribed. So when Kiralyn and I spoke back and forth through email, she ended up telling me that she changed the wording under the sign up to actually say something about the newsletter freebie. So I appreciated her doing that. But I think she said she had over 100 new subscribers the day that I posted that my progress. So anyway, yay, that benefits all of us, right? So this is what I had done so far. My goal was just to finish the cat that night. And I'm doing this little sweetie on 18 vintage smoky white from Zweigart. To me, the picture looks like it's vintage smoky white, although I think it just says antique white or cream. But the Valentine one was done on vintage smoky white, so I already had a piece that I was going to use for that, and I thought, oh, this will look good on it too, so I'm just using the same thing. And I'm just using her DMC colors. All right, so that was Blessings Mini. Then the next day was day 6, and this was where hashtag Stitch the Winter Olympics started. So yes, I'm giving myself the extra challenge of trying to use the prompts from Katie at the Naptime Stitcher and have them match up. Well, luckily, Winter Olympics, there's a lot of winter things, and I like stitching winter, so it wasn't that hard to have them match up to the prompts. But day 1 of the Olympics was the opening ceremony, and she just said new start. So I chose this snowman. The website is Yarnspirations, and they carry a lot more than just cross stitch, so you do have to search just a little bit for this. I know I put all the instructions in my post, but it still was confusing to people. So you have to go to the website, and if I share the direct link to the chart, it's this big. It's a bunch of gobbledygook. And for people that are on Instagram, where you can't link from that post, are they going to really copy and paste that whole? I mean, they're not going to write it all down. Are they going to lose some of it if they copy and paste? It's too hard. So I just explained how to get it. So you go to yarnspirations.com. You go to free patterns. When you click on that, it gives you other categories. You have to go to embroidery. They have it all lumped under embroidery. There's no separate cross stitch one. Then you have to go to page 2. I already figured it out for you. Go to page 2 and just scroll down a little bit until you see the big fat red snowman, and it's all good. You'll find it. Now, I decided not to do mine with red, although I thought it was really attractive. You know, I had to use blue, and I wanted to respect the original collaboration, which I normally try to do. And they had designed this for Anchor. So I decided to stick with Anchor floss. I just changed to the same shading style in blue. And I've only used one color so far. I started in the middle. Well, I found the middle, and then I went to the top of the snowman body, and that's where I started. And I'm doing it on 28 count white opalescent Lugana. And there is a white that gets filled in, but I didn't think you needed to see the white. I just thought you might want to see the 3 blues that I chose. It's 146, 147, and 149 in Anchor. The middle shade is the scarf, and the dark shade makes up part of the pattern on the body. All right, so that is, I think it's just called Snowman. I think it's called Snowman Cross Stitch, actually, to differentiate it from embroidery. All right, so that is Anchor Snowman. Oh, yeah. And it was designed by Joanne Aston. Okay. Then day 2 of the Winter Olympics was Parade of Nations, and she said to do anything patriotic for whatever country you wanted. Well, of course, I chose the US. And I had been wanting to do this one for a while. This is that's what the whole chart looks like, but there's no color picture. So I actually started this one back in January and worked on it maybe 4 different times, including this day, the 7th. And I finished it up that day. So this is what it looks like finished. And again, I respected the fact that Patty from SamSarah Design Studio had worked up this free chart for Weeks Dye Works, and it can be found on their website. So I wanted to stick with Weeks Dye Works fibers, but the ones that she used were maybe a little duller and darker than I wanted to go. So I switched them out, and of course right now I don't have them in front of me. I know it was Lancaster Red, Grits, Whiskey, and Twilight. I searched to find a finished, see if anybody, you know, on the internet, but it was done so long ago, and I couldn't find any other evidence of somebody stitching it. So anyway, I think it's really cute, and it was very fun to stitch, especially the parts where I didn't have to look at the chart anymore. And I'm stitching this on 28 mushroom Lugana with 2 strands. All right, so that was Liberty. Now for this one, I do have to specify that you have to follow my link. If you just go to Weeks Dye Works and go to, I think you go to Designers, and then there's a pull down menu, and then you can look for the free charts. When you click on that, it just shows you a blurry copy of the chart. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they updated their website once and they lost some information. I don't know what the reason is. I may reach out and see if they can fix it because there's other charts on there. But you have to follow the link that I give you, because that was my original link from years ago when I first saved it. And that still goes directly to the printable copy with all the information about the threads. And hello, Shelly, the other colors are listed right here. Oh, okay. So I must not be using, I'm not using Twilight. It called for Twilight, Indian Summer, Angel Hair, and Amber. So right now I can't remember what I can't remember which blue I'm using, but anyway, it was in the post. Okay, so that was, yes, it was just called Liberty. All right, then day 8, that's today. Okay, so this one I also had to start ahead because I don't normally stitch on the day I'm doing my video until after the video's over. So I had to work ahead on this. Again, there's a color graphic, but there's no stitching to show you. This can be found on Facebook. I'm sorry if you people don't have Facebook. You can go on and do something without, you don't have to be a member, you don't have to comment. You can just go on and look for this and take a screenshot and save it. That's what I did. Again, I wasn't smart enough to figure out, I tried to copy and paste this so I could print it and it didn't work. And I couldn't find any other evidence of this. There was no free chart. I think she might only have an Etsy shop, not a website, but whatever it was, I couldn't find any free charts there. So you have to go to Facebook. The name of her Facebook page is Creations Marjorie Massey. And I think her company name might be Prairie Girl Samplers in one place, but most of us just say Marjorie Massey. And you can see a lot of her other charts on Kitten Stitcher's website. Anyway, on Facebook, you have to go to her photos and scroll, 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 scroll until you get to February 12th of 2021. I'm sorry, I had saved it a long time ago and had always wanted to stitch it, and it is what it is. It's there. I just looked for it to make sure, that you could find it as easily as I did. So it says season's greetings and merry winter. And what she said was, I want to thank you all for the support you gave me during the complicated and trying year 2020. So it came out at the end of the year of 2020, but it's called Merry Winter. And I'll just make this bigger so you can see the whole thing and try to hold it so there's not a lot of glare. Okay, it's so pretty. So she shows it in like a dusty blue. It's my favorite color, so it was a no-brainer that I was going to choose it. So I am doing mine on 32 count Lugana in light denim from Atomic Ranch Fabrics. I'm doing one strand because this is very, very tight, and I'm using Stargazing from Color and Cotton. And I'm very pleased to see that even though I'm using the floss saving Danish method of stitching, where I'm going across the row and back instead of doing each stitch individually, there is still a lovely variegation showing. It's not too stripy, but it does volunteer the fact that it's an over-dyed, hand-dyed thread instead of being solid. So I was happy to see that you could tell it was hand-dyed. So this is going to be really fun too. And I think what I'm going to do for some of these is do like one length of thread at a time in between other projects so that I still allow myself to start some new projects and finish some other whips, but maybe just do one length of thread in your needle and then put it away again, and eventually it won't take too long. Now, I had auditioned quite a few different fabrics, and I pulled all of the navy, darkish denim colors of floss, silk, cotton, wool, whatever in the store. And I had narrowed it down to these two colors. The other one is In the Navy by Gloriana. And I thought this would look really pretty too, but it looks so dark. It looks almost black. And honestly, I was afraid that when I finished, a black frame would look too black and a brown frame would make the thread look black. I was just really afraid of not giving myself the right choices at the end. And, I guess I could have just made it into a pillow too instead, but I thought I would give myself some more options by choosing a color that really looked blue, you know, from a distance rather than looking that dark. So I like this in the navy, and I'll probably use it for something else, but I didn't choose it for this. So, okay, I think I said all the things that you needed to see. Go thank the Naptime Stitcher, follow her on Instagram, tell her you're doing the Stitch the Winter Olympics. I did it for the Summer Olympics and it was really fun, so I was anxious to do it again. And you can still start, why not? You don't have to start from the beginning, or you can catch up. And if you just Google that, I mean, I have a picture of it, but if you go to her Instagram page or just Google it on the internet, you'll find something that you can actually save as a picture that has all of the prompts for all the days. So, I'm actually watching the Olympics while I'm stitching. Yay. I'm also taping it in case I miss an ice dance or something, or I miss a human interest story that I wanted. So I'm still taping it while I'm watching it, you know, in case the dogs need to go out. There's always that occasion too. But anyway, I'm having a lot of fun watching and stitching the prompts. So thank you, Katie. Okay, that's it. I will see you next week. Happy stitching.